Tara and Andy's film reviews on OurGamers.co.uk.
Hi everyone, it is time once again for another film review this week, and it is with me, Tara Malik, and...
me, Andy Baines.
I think I just hit your mic.
You may have.
Ever the pro. Okay, so this time we're going to be talking about Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets.
Ba-da-da-da.
You're getting with this, aren't you? You're understanding now that after the title some sort of sound effect has to happen. Classified 12A, the director is Luc Besson, who's done so much stuff. If you don't know, you've been living under a rock. He's done like tons of stuff.
He's done stuff.
But he's kind of... It's getting to a point where it's like you know what to expect with the film that he makes now, because we kind of realise what he prioritises over everything else.
To be fair, Fifth Element was 1997.
And it was good.
Yeah.
Right. But he's done Lucy, some Taken films, some Arthur and the Invisible filmed. District 13? Did he do that one? Yes, he did. I think he did. Yeah, so he's done tons and tons and tons of films. So go check it out, because the list is way too long to actually read out right now. Starring in this film, we've got Dane, DeHaan, Cara, Delevingne, Clive, Owen, and a few other famous faces, I guess, here and there as well.
And famous voices. John Goodman was a voice.
If you were going to say, oh gosh, what's his name? Nathan Fillion. If you were going to say Nathan Fillion, I would actually slap you. Okay.
What, Nathan Fillion?
Don't. I didn't do that.
Ow.
Okay, genre. They'll see that handprint is way bigger than mine.
I also missed my face.
And also, I'd hit a lot harder. I'm joking. Genre, action, adventure, fantasy. Running time is 2 hours and 17 minutes. Possibly may have been a bit long, but I think that wasn't the issue with the film. I think it could have been a really good film and still been 2 hours and 17, so I think there were other elements that didn't really work. We'll get into that. In brief, this film, a dark force threatens Alpha, a vast metropolis and home to species from 1,000 planets. Special operatives Valerian and Laureline must race to identify the marauding menace and safeguard not just Alpha, but the future of the universe. Oh, bit of a mouthful there, trying to figure out exactly what they're supposed to be doing and what's going on. Right. So, just a fun fact before we get into story, the film is based on the French science fiction comic series Valerian and Laureline. So, yeah, they obviously tried to adapt it into film. I'm quite interested to know about the comics, because I'm starting to think, I don't think it kind of translated too well into film.
I've heard that they're quite big in France, but have never really made it big elsewhere.
Yeah. I just think I can get where this is supposed to go or is going. I just didn't think it worked. It's a nice adventure film. Now moving into story, nice adventure film, but poor story, unfortunately. No specific line. It's got a very weak plot. It could have been so much better, but the focus was more on CGI and using famous faces, if you ask me. That's what I think.
I wasn't fond on the story. I think they tried to fit too much in and didn't really. Yeah, it didn't really have content.
No,
sort of thing. There was a lot in there, but didn't quite get you intrigued and stuff.
No, it was just mixing things, and it's like pick a plot, stick to it, make it deep, and make it meaningful.
It took a while to get to the plot.
Yeah.
And it was not interesting. I wasn't interested around the main characters, really.
I mean, considering what is supposed to be going on and what everything hinges on, and then the fact that we're not even that interested, that's not a good thing. The story and the characters, there wasn't much backstory with them. I mean, you get told a little bit, but they tried to like force the characters together. Yes. Rather than making them, they didn't actually feel like they were friends. And exactly, that natural feeling just was not there. But I've got quite a few notes in my car, so you just wait. Obviously trying to be a bit Star Warsy at some point, and I'm like, look, that's been done. Like, do your own thing, you know. Also, it was extremely predictable. So please, like, I don't need that. I don't want to walk into a film, see 5 minutes at the start, and know exactly how it's going to end. Like, I don't want that. So if you're going to make a film, be interesting. Have interesting quirks and twists, and throw something at me that I didn't see coming, but make it have a point and a purpose in this, you know. And don't just create something where I totally know where the scene's going to go and what the ending's going to be like, because that's just going to annoy me so much, as it sounds like right now. But it was predictable. Yeah. Like, we knew what was going to happen and where things were going, and what was going to happen with characters and who who the bad guy was. Like, oh my goodness, it was so obvious who the bad guy was.
It was a shame. Yeah. It really was a shame. It could have done something really well done.
I know.
But it just didn't.
And, like, fair enough, it had relatable content to current issues, but it was really a wasted opportunity of a film. It was obviously trying to convey messages regarding our society and government and problems within all of this. I mean, I totally saw what they were trying to do there, but it was not done good. It really wasn't done good. It was 2 hours of a waste of a film that just looked pretty. Like, that's basically it. Which is such a shame. Like, I love anything sort of sci-fi or fantasy. Like, those are my favourite genres, truth be told. You know, adventure, sci-fi, fantasy. Love that. So obviously seeing this come up, I was like, yeah. And then went to go see it. I was like, no. So, shame. Absolute shame.
I've actually spoken to a few friends about this film.
Your friends?
Yes. And some of them were quite sad because one or two of them knew of the books or comics, whatever, graphic novels, and they were sad to hear that.
Yeah.
And I said, you may go in with more knowledge behind you and may enjoy it more, and you might get little nods or might get little bits of content that you might know that we don't get, but it just didn't appeal to myself too much.
I just think, it definitely had a weak plot because it seemed to not kind of understand what exactly it should be focusing on and where to take us, so it did seem a little thrown together. But another main issue, unless you've got anything else
no
for the
I was
story,
going to say we've got leading from a weak plot to a weak
cast.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Now there was already a lot of sort of comments being made because you could see that Cara Delevingne was going to be in this. Obviously we have is it Dane who plays the main guy?
He's done some good roles.
He has.
He can do some roles.
Yeah.
Perfect.
This so did not work.
Yeah.
It was wooden. The casting was clearly wrong and off on this one. I think you needed a different male lead because I really don't think this worked for him. I'm not saying he's a bad actor.
And female lead.
Possibly. Well, here's the thing. Like, I can't quite put my finger on the whole Cara Delevingne situation because I'm starting to think she's a bit typecast and restricted. She's always playing the cynical, sarcastic, sort of miserable person who always wants to one-up someone. However, there were moments in this where I kind of felt like she was doing okay, and maybe if there was a different male lead, it might have come across differently. It might have not been as awful. The chemistry might have been better. But what they had between the two of them, it really didn't work at all. I just couldn't get any feelings for them as individuals altogether. It just didn't work at all. It felt like these two actors had turned up on set. They hate each other. They get through another day of filming and thank the Lord they're done with that day and done with the film. They might be best friends in the real world, but I just don't get anything from them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's really bad, especially when your two main characters, it's a love-hate thing that's going on, but it wasn't done well enough for me to kind of get the feeling that they do really care about each other. They just seemed really peed off with each other. And I was peed off with them. I think I got that off my chest. Have you got anything else for cast?
Yes.
Because it just really disappoints me.
Regarding cast, the voice acting was good. The CGI, because the CGI was well done, the voices were actually spot on. I wonder if they denoted the CGI around the voices, because like John Goodman's character was a great. The actual CGI version of him was actually like really good. The other characters were all quite good. I actually liked Rihanna in this.
I was gonna say because I forgot to make a note.
Normally when they drag in like a music sort of singer or whatever.
Even my mum was like, oh, they brought so and so in. I'm like, actually mum, she was alright.
I was quite happy with her character, her acting, her whole role basically.
Her performing, I was quite happy with that.
And
I agree.
Because of her and a few other side characters, I was more interested in them than the main two.
Yes.
So that's quite bad when you think about it, but no, hats off. I did like some of the support characters.
Yeah. No, I did quite like Rihanna's character as well. But yeah, so overall, something went a little bit wrong with the casting. Something went a little bit wrong with the sort of transition from novels or comics to film because the plot just didn't seem to work too well. Costume and sets, however, fantastic. Elaborate costumes. I love the costumes, the makeup. The overall looks are amazing and quite imaginative in the film.
I made some notes about that, and if I make notes about the costumes, then it's actually quite like outstanding.
Exactly. Possibly have some cosplay inspiration.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think I might look nice as Rihanna's character.
I did like Rihanna. She had like a few different looks. And
she did.
I was like, I quite like that. I might try that. Sets and more sets. They were nice. So they obviously put some detailing into that as well.
There was so many variants between different sets, different planets, different cultures and species.
Yes.
That was all perfect. They done that so well. You could tell the species were different. He put so much thought into each race.
Yeah.
That they done really well, having like the free sort of reign of actually CGI and all of it.
Yeah, exactly. CGI, might as well move on to that one. CGI was phenomenal. So I have no complaints about that whatsoever.
Yeah, no doubt the visuals were impressive.
Yeah, I mean, hands down, it's the strongest aspect of the film, but unfortunately you do need more than that to make an overall great movie experience. The shots, creatures and effects are all awesome, but I do feel like, especially, I don't know if it's a Luc Besson thing, but it seems like visual side of it, he'll put 10,000% into it, rest of it kind of tags along, and it's like a film needs more.
The thing is, this could be looked as an up-to-date version of Fifth Element. Fifth Element was different species, different races.
Yeah.
But that worked.
Yeah, exactly.
You had, I assume maybe because it had some decent actors in it, maybe. I'm not saying these are bad actors, but they're just not the right ones.
Yeah, it just didn't work for the film altogether.
The characters and the actors in Fifth Element really work together.
Yeah.
Whereas this is like an up-to-date version. Didn't quite work, which is a shame.
You know what I find such a funny fact in the trivia section here?
What's that?
There are 200 different alien species in this movie, yay. Luc Besson wrote a 600-page book describing in details all the species. The actors had to read that book prior to filming so they can adjust their acting depending on the species they were interacting with. Hate to break it to you, Luke, but that was not the problem of the film. I mean, the alien thing, great. The species thing, great. CGI, great. You're missing out on cast, characters, like the depth of it all, and obviously the plot. Yeah, lost the plot. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. Like, it's focusing so much on we've got these species and how should they interact with each other. That's all great, but if everything else is falling through, it's just not going to come across, is it?
All the species were believable.
Yeah,
and they've done such a great job of it.
The opening scene, there's a lot of introduction to stuff there, and it's amazing and intriguing. But then that's about it.
I do have one little CGI complaint.
Ooh.
And it's kind of CGI. I could include soundtrack a little bit because it was the Rihanna scene. As good as that scene was, and it was in the trailer as well.
Yes.
It was a bit long and not really needed for the story. Do you remember the dance scene where she changed costume and all that? It was really well done. It was a great scene.
With you.
It was a great scene. It wasn't completely needed for the film though.
I mean, I guess that's Rihanna's little moment in that.
Yeah.
I guess that's what they wanted.
Off, it done well.
But here's the thing. I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. But I actually really enjoyed, that might just be me, but I loved the whole presentation of it all and all the different looks. I'm like, oh, give me more, give me more, give me more.
No, I did say it was a good scene.
And I see where you're saying it possibly not needed, but I guess they just wanted to kind of give you an insight to what Rihanna's character is all about prior to her being involved with their situation. And I guess that's the best way they thought of getting that across, maybe. I don't know. But I think that's it for CGI. 4DX. Obviously, we have to talk about that because we went to go see it in 4DX because I'm getting 4DX hungry and I'm loving it. Who'd have thunk it? Like, I'm absolutely loving it. Becoming a massive fan for sure. My first note, I think this is as soon as the film started because the chairs moved straight away. Here we go. You do get thrown about in certain places. You really get thrown about in certain places from memory.
Well, the first part was slow space movements, wasn't it?
Yeah, but then you know when you get to the action-y
bits,
like I'm flying out of my seat.
Yeah, I know, I always smile when
Strap me down. Strap my bag down. Again, very different experience to Baby Driver and War for the Planet of the Apes. That's why I'm really glad we got to see different films in 4DX because you'd kind of think, right, 4DX, what are you going to get? You're going to get some air, some water, some smells, some... I don't know, rumbling, movement. But it is so unique to every film. So it's not, you're not going to get the same thing out of every experience, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's always worth going to check out a film in 4DX.
I'd gotten so much into the film regarding like the CGI and the movement and stuff and all that, the special effects. I forgot about the water and the mist, and when it happened, I was like, "Oh yeah." Just wiped my face because it was all wet. Because it was a bit. It fit the scene completely. Because there'd been no water up to that point. It was just a sudden. I was like, "Oh yeah."
You know what's really bad though? Because obviously you can't have any hot drinks, and I love my coffee. We normally always have coffee, right? So, not being funny, I was getting a little bit sleepy at points, probably because, and the movement of the chairs actually makes me want to sleep at times because it's so relaxing. But then I get thrown about and I get woken up and I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? So yeah, but no, it's just amazing how I wasn't sure at all with the whole 4DX experience. I mean, if you're someone who's really unsure, take it from me. I was the person who really wanted to go in 4DX and really thought I couldn't handle it. I'm loving it. I want it anytime I can, I'm going. So yeah, definitely. Do recommend it for sure. And I think I just wrote thoroughly enjoyable. Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
So, randoms, any?
Yes, the orchestral music fit for both the calm, worry and the action.
Yes.
The soundtrack was okay.
Yeah.
Nothing sort of amazing, but also nothing to complain about. And it was okay, but I enjoyed the action visuals over the story and acting.
Yeah.
That's kind of the summary of what we've done. That's the
problem. That's what I've got as well, and hence the rating's not going to be amazing for this, but it's a visually stunning film. You can't fault that. Like, you get it from the trailer as well. It's so amazing. It really transports you to all these different worlds, and especially in 4DX, you really feel like you're there because you get the breeze and the smells and everything.
You may enjoy it more if you know.
Yeah, but unfortunately for me, I feel like that's all. There was nothing else with the film that really got me into it, which is a shame because, again, I was kind of hopeful because everyone was like, I'm not so sure. And I was like, yeah, come on, let's forget about those points that are coming up. Hopefully it's going to be all right. And then I walked out, people are asking me, and I'm like, you were right. It wasn't as good as it could have been. So it's a shame. On that note, let's move on to the rating, I guess. So the rating, shockingly, 6.7. Don't know why. I haven't actually gone to read it, but the rating I was like 4 or 5. That's what I was thinking, and I think I'm going to give it a 5. It's average.
Yeah, same.
There's still aspects of the film that are nice. Obviously, when it comes out, I won't mind getting it just because I did love the visual side of it and the world and the worlds they created. But in my mind, I'll obviously just imagine a different sort of plot and outcome. The thing is, it's called Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets. So is there going to be a Valerian and the da-di-da-di-da-di-da? Is there going to be like more?
Maybe that was a plan, but if it
have to see.
If it doesn't go down too well.
There'll be a remake in like 5 years' time with a new cast. So we'll look forward to that one. But I guess that's it. So 6.7 is the rating. I'm rating it 5. What are you rating it, Andy?
I think I said a 5.
Oh, you're 5 as well?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think I did say that.
Yeah.
I'd agree with your score.
Not the worst. There are great aspects of it. We're just saying that it lacked slightly with the story and the cast. It's a bit of a shame. But overall, why not? Especially in 4DX. Can't complain, to be quite honest. Just couldn't have my coffee.
The estimated budget and the gross as of a week or so ago does not look like it's covered it. So they might not be making any others if they had plans to.
Oh, no.
We shall see.
Okay.
Fingers crossed it's...
Well, even if they try to do a remake in the future, I want to see this. I actually am intrigued about this, like this whole... But I want to see it done good. So maybe we just got to wait a few years then. And then they pull it out of the vault and they're like, do you know what? Let's try making this something decent for people to go see. And then we'll do like the sequels and stuff. Yay! Happy days. Good. Cool. Okie dokie. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks to Cineworld Festival Leisure Park Basildon for the best experience around.